All right.
Vivian. Departure. Where are you going?
Oh, I'm going to play for the Pomona-Pitzer soccer team in Claremont, California.
When do you go?
Tomorrow. I leave tomorrow, but we move in on Thursday.
Like early morning?
I gotta set up the whole room.
Who's taking you?
My mom and my dad. Yeah. They're the best.
Remind me of your mom's name again.
Molly. Her name's Molly. My dad's name is
I chatted a lot with
Gabriel.
Molly when you were first signing up.
Yeah, I bet you did.
All right, you were just thinking about this. So when did you start? When did we figure out that you started training with us?
I started training here fall of 2021. Like during high school season, I was looking for like more training, a place to get better before I went back to club, and I came here and I just like fell in love with it. I've been here ever since.
So we started, when did we do our open house we started in April. You really didn't start till the fall?
Yeah, I know I started in the fall because it was like right towards the end of my high school season. Like
what year
October.
were you in high school then?
Junior, I think. Yeah, junior. I don't know.
Where did you go to high school?
I went to this really small Montessori high school. It was called Great River School. It's in St. Paul. So that's kind of another reason our high school soccer was not very good at all. So that's why I wanted to look for somewhere just to get better and train.
Great River?
Great River High School.
Wow, I didn't even know you were in Great River.
No, it's so small. We have like 60 people in our grade, I think. Yeah.
So there was a girls' high school team?
Yeah, it was like a mix between three other small schools, and it was like there wasn't even a tryout. Like if you want to be on the team, you're on it, because we like barely even had enough people to play.
Do you play single A or what is it? Will you play this season? High school?
High school? No. Yeah. No, because I'm going to college.
Right. All right, now let's start this interview. Okay.
So how did you hear about Pomona-Pitzer?
Well, actually, it was like a few months back before I came here. I went to try and train at Pamela Park, and I saw you guys training there, and you guys were like taking up like a lot of the field. No, I'm just kidding. But my mom went up to you guys and just asked you guys what it was all about, and we saw a little bit of the training, and we kind of just had it in the back of our minds, and then we decided to try it out. But yeah.
Okay, what about your dad? So what did you think about him when you first started training? Like, who was the one that encouraged you to like?
Oh, well, it was my dad. My dad encouraged me to come here the most, I think. He really wanted me to have people that knew like a lot about soccer and people who could push me to improve. And he felt that I wasn't like getting that in other places. And yeah, he pushed me to come. I was a little bit like, I don't know, I wasn't sure about coming here in the beginning, and I was like, I don't know if I want to go, but he pushed me, and he's like, what did he say? He said, like, at first you didn't even want to go, and now I can't get you to leave there. So it changed a lot, but yeah.
Have you, before you did that, did you do any kind of technical training, or like, did you do private training before PV?
I did a little bit. I trained with Ralph. I don't know if you know Ralph.
Akala?
Yep, love him. He's the best. And then just like private training here and there. But mainly I was training on my own. Just like technical skills, just every day, which got kind of boring. So that's why I love Pura Vida. You guys always make it so fun. So, yeah.
So I remember the first few days that you were here, you already had the technical skills, right? So what were you doing in your free time? Or when was the time that you were training like nonstop? What year was it? Just like training
okay. I think honestly, when I was younger, I developed a lot of technical skills just through my club. But when I really saw an improvement, I guess was during COVID. I would just, every single day, I would just go out and I would train like 3 hours, just technical skills. And it did get a little bit boring, and it was hard to go like every single day. But I think it was so good for me to get to the level that I'm at now with just like my technique and accuracy, consistency. Yeah.
I'm trying to remember when you first started. Did you start doing one-on-ones? Were you doing privates? Like,
Yeah.
right, paint a picture. What was the first training? Do you remember?
I started doing privates. Of course, I remember. I was over there on the far field with Michael. It was all technique. Like, it was all just like little foot skills, and like, I loved it. But once I got to see like the other coaches' style, like Danny with his like first touch, opening up, stuff like that, scanning, and Cesar with his like reaction time, Gio with all like the movement stuff, like that's when I really like loved the place. Just because you guys have like everything, I guess. But yeah.
And you're a coach too.
I am.
Yeah, tell us about that. What was the evolution from?
Oh, let's see. Well, I think it was February. Like, I asked Danny, I said like, oh, like, do you think I could start volunteering here? Just cause like, I just honestly loved being here so much, and like, I also wanted to like coach, I guess, and like just, you know. And so he was like, no, like you can work here. So I was like, oh, okay, great. So at first we started, I was working here for training, which I loved. I was like, yeah, this is such a great deal. Like, I can train here and I can work here. This is perfect. But yeah, I did a lot of work in performance. A lot. Thank you, Nico. Shout out, Nico. He's the best. But yeah, ever since then, I've just been here.
Tell us about performance training, because I think I remember you did performance yourself. Like, that was one of the things you were doing when you were training before you did any coaching and you were just a player training here. Mm-hmm. Was performance a big part of what you were doing?
Yeah, no, definitely. I mean, like, after like all the coaches had seen me, and like Danny, like, he gave me like his big advice was just to work on like my explosiveness and speed, and more like and agility, more like the physical aspect. So he suggested I started training with Nico, and yeah, Nico really helped me. He knows so much. Like, he taught me so much, and he also just like pushed me to get faster. And I think like what I loved about it was that like I came to him with a really specific goal, and he helped me to work just on that, like to achieve that. Also, obviously getting stronger, but working on the speed a lot was really helpful.
Have you been pretty consistent doing performance work?
I have been, yeah. I kind of dropped off doing performance like during COVID, I guess, and then started it up again here. And then ever since, I've been doing it a little bit more on my own now. But yeah, still working on it.
From doing performance?
I think I definitely noticed a difference. I know that like going into my senior season, after having been doing performance the whole time, and in the fall, like before going back to club, when I came back, I definitely felt stronger, faster, more agile. Like, I was able to win my 1v1s better, and I don't think that it was something that was holding me back as much as it was before. So yeah, really grateful. Mm-hmm.
All right, does this feel like a family place? What's the PV vibe? Tell us about that.
I think so, honestly. Like, I think all the coaches are kind of like a family. Like, we have so much fun together. Like, we're always joking around. We're always, I don't know, making fun of each other in a nice way. But yeah, I think it really is like a little family. Yeah.
So you've been here now for, what, 2 years? 2 years now, right? About 2 years.
Yeah, 2 years.
Tell us a little bit of like what are your favorite memories here? What are your favorite moments here?
Oh, okay. Give me a second to think. Favorite memories here. Honestly, I kind of loved every single day. I loved every single day, even if it was hard, like especially with work. Kids weren't listening. I'm just kidding. I still loved it, like, every day. I would say favorite memories, I think coach training. That's like my favorite. It's just a place where we're able to get together, have fun, but also like push ourselves to get better. And I know that training with players like Kenzie, like Gio, Alvaro, Abby, like all those players who are like so much further in their journey than I am, it was really helpful for me to get better, play at a quicker pace, and yeah, it was really fun. challenged me a lot.
Tell us more about coach training. Like, what is coach training?
Oh, well, all the coaches get together. It used to be Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Now I think it's just Monday, Friday. But we'll get coached by either Danny, Cesar, or Tavo. And it usually ends in a really competitive and fun mahanga. But yeah, it's great. We'll either do like the cantera or Danny will make up some drill. And yeah, it's always great. Always pushes me, the players push me, the drill pushes me, and yeah.
What do you think about group training here versus like private training? Because you've done it all. So.
Oh, true. I would say that I think private training is more necessary if you're a little bit lower in technical skill, or if you're trying to really improve one specific area. I would say to get private training because the coaches can see that and recognize that and really just focus on improving your weaknesses. I would say for group training, obviously you're still going to improve overall, but it's more of like you're going with a group. We're not going to pause and just focus on you for the whole time, I guess, or your specific weakness. Obviously, there's going to be different days where we might be working on something that one person is a little bit weaker at and one person's a bit better at. But I would say private training is great just to get really like individualized attention, focusing on your weaknesses, seeing like your challenges and your strengths and improving. But I think group is also great because you're able to play with other players. And obviously like soccer is a game, you play with other players. So they're able to just like challenge you, push you. Like I know I love group training when we do a lot of 1v1 stuff because that's what I need to work on, I think. So yeah, it's always fun to play with other people, but individual is great too.
Tell us about some of the relationships, like friendships that you have with other coaches here, and like say a little bit more about kind of being able to play with players that are at another level, and how much has that helped, and maybe do you get that opportunity to, like at club, you're always at your age, or high school, maybe you play kids a couple of years older, but to be able to play with players who are going pro, and just talk about like the community of players that you've been able to train with here and where they are now and what's happening, and because you are serving that same purpose for like younger players, and I know it's a huge thing for Finn to be able to jump in and play mahanga with you guys and Will, and like just that part of this community is nuts. Get in here, Sace.
Just interrupting my interview like that.
Are you telling them every time I make you what? Tell your story?
I don't remember that ever happening, actually.
Oh yeah, you're sharing the mic. Sit down, son. Get in here.
I was coming to say bye.
Not yet.
Jump right
What's up, baby?
in. Oh, hi.
Oh, hi, baby.
Anyways, I'm going to answer Mark's question. Let's see. I've been able to train with so many Aurora girls, like Kenzie, Abby, Ari. I love all those girls. I think I got to know them pretty well while they've been working here, and just create kind of that friendship, but also like they're kind of role models to me, and like I can kind of look up to them, get advice from them. And they also push me soccer-wise too, right? Because they're like 4 or 5 years older than me, and they have a lot more experience. And they're all playing pro now. I miss them all. They're all gone. But yeah, so it was just great to train in that environment and see other like girls, especially who are succeeding in this sport so much, and who are like pushing it to the next level. Like I think that was really awesome to see. And then obviously also playing with the guy coaches who are just like, they're so quick, they're so fast. So they're also able to push me in that aspect too. But yeah.
Yeah, talk about that. Like the groups aren't necessarily like gender specific, right? Like how is it when you're mixing guys, girls? Do you like that for the younger players too?
Oh yeah, no, I think it's great. I've always like growing up been able to train with boys teams or just kind of like mixed teams. And I think it's really great for improvement, especially for me as somebody who's a bit slower. Usually the guys are a lot faster than me. So it's really able to push me there, and just like trying to play up at their speed is really great. So I would say that like if you're a young girl, like I would definitely suggest training with boys or training with people who are older and quicker than you, because it's going to help you improve so much.
How do you feel about Mahenga?
I love it. I think it's so fun. It's fun. That's it. No, I think it's great. I think it's great. Like, it's a space to be creative. It's like a low pressure place to play, try out new things, new skills, all of that. It's just a place to have fun with soccer, which is what everybody should be doing, because at the end of the day, it's a game. So, yeah.
Boys, keep going.
Hay que jugar mejenga en la playa, en Santa Teresa. Mark?
Mark was not locked in. Mark was not focused.
Turn off the piano music in the background right now.
You don't like the piano music?
Oh, it's the TV.
See,
Just
you killed it. You guys turned off the music, or on purpose, or it was just? No, I turned it off. Oh, okay, I just paused for the video. Okay.
Yeah.
Vivi, are you gonna miss PV?
So much. Yes, so much.
Why?
I just love it here. I love like the environment that's like created here. Like, I think literally every single kid comes here and they have so much fun. And it's like a place where I see kids who don't want to leave. And that's kind of me. Like, I just don't want to leave. I think it's so fun here. And obviously I'm gonna miss all the people, like all the relationships I made with all the kids coaching and the other coaches too. So yeah, I'm gonna miss it a lot.
I've been paying attention to you, like when you're coaching, and all the little concepts that you have learned either from me or Dio or Danny. Make sure you take that to your game.
I will.
It's gonna help you a lot, right? So you're always aware of those things and try to find them. Because I don't know if even now, have you been trying to be more analytic of the game, right? More, because especially in your position, that can help you a lot, correct?
Yes, yeah, for sure. I play defense, center back, maybe center mid sometimes, I don't know. I think I've learned so much here that now I can notice it in the games like myself. And when I'm watching other people, and even like when I do something wrong, I'm like, I should have done that instead. So
rattle
it's
off like a list of some of the things, like focal points, things that you've learned here that you think about or that are part of your game, new things that you added to your game. You can just do like laundry list, whatever you
Let me think. I think one thing that I really got kind of like ingrained into my head here is mechanics. Just like making sure everything is right, like right arm, left leg, all of that stuff, where it actually really helps with consistency. It's something I know, like when I first started training here, Cesar would coach me over there and he'd be like, you're not passing right, and I'd be like, dude, like I'm passing. but like, yeah, in the end, yeah, it was what I needed to do. Or like Danny was shooting mechanics, like at first, like I just wasn't really using my arms right, and he was just like, nope, do it better every time. And like just like that consistency and pushing me to do it right every time, I think is really good. So mechanics for sure. I would say like first touch, like, and how you can take your first touch in a direction that helps you to make the next move. So like not killing it at your feet. And scanning, so much scanning. I would say scanning, just always checking your shoulder and knowing where you need to go, which is especially important for me, I think, as a good defender or a mid, I guess. Like I always need to know where my next move is, and I need to know it quick so that I can execute. And so I think first touch and scanning really has helped me a lot, which is all things that we teach you. So yes.
Does it help you to teach those things? Like, does it help you as a player to teach them as a trainer?
I think so. I think that like looking at kids and seeing what they're doing wrong and what they need to improve on, and just like what touches are bad, or like just like trying to see how kids can be better and what they can fix about their game has helped me think about when I'm playing, like what I need to fix with my game, and just like seeing like really small details. I think that helped with that a lot.
When did you decide that you wanted to play college soccer?
I think I was 10 years old. Yeah, it was a long time ago. Like 10 years old, I was like, yep, I'm gonna play college soccer. And from then I knew. So yeah.
How was that process, Vivi? Like, for example, like 2 years ago, what were you thinking? Were you kind of like anxious? Were you like a little bit nervous? That's why you started coming here. You know, like, how was that?
I think it's definitely a stressful process, especially for my year, because we were coming out of COVID, so everybody was like super rusty, and like it was our first tournament. I know our first tournament was like after 2 practices back together, and like it was just kind of a mess. So that was like added stress on top of like being watched by college coaches. You also know that you're not at your best, so that was like added stress. I would say, like, going into it, I kind of thought that it would be college coaches saw me, they reached out, and then boom, they offered me a spot. But it's actually a lot of work that the player has to do. Like, you have to reach out to them, you have to tell them, oh, this is what my game is, like, come watch me, and it's like a lot more work. But I guess that I knew, like, going into it, that I wanted to focus a lot on school as well. And also I wanted to leave the Midwest, you know, try a new experience. So that's something that I did. Obviously not maybe at the level that I wanted at first, but I think I'm gonna be really happy there. Yeah.
And how are you feeling now? You feeling nervous, confident? How much do you know about the team?
I'm excited. I think my team is known to do well. Like, we won our league last year. Last year we won. And I'm feeling confident, obviously nervous, just like excited, but I'm feeling pretty confident just because I know that I've been putting a lot of work in this summer to like get better and be ready for preseason. So I'm really excited for it to start.
So, throughout the process, like, did you have any mentors, you know, to like kind of guide you or to like push you, things like that?
Like, just like my process as a soccer player, or like college?
College and soccer.
I feel like, honestly, all the coaches here at PV, I think you guys really pushed me, like, both to be a better player and a better coach. Just like, you guys all have your specific things that you guys are really good at and that you guys focus on, and I think that you guys are all able to push me in different ways. So I would say all of you guys. And my parents. Shout out to my parents.
Like, what's something that you feel like, what's a takeaway from being from Pura? So what do you feel like you can take with you and maybe like also guide other people? So what's a takeaway? What's a takeaway that you can, like, you know, take with you pretty much to California, you know, and into your season, right? With maybe soccer-wise and also like your personal life as well.
I think leadership. I think that when I started coaching here, I was a little bit shy and I would be kind of like nervous to like tell the kids anything, and obviously I was still learning. But I think now, like, I'm a lot more confident and I'm able to like get little kids together and I'm able to like lead them through the hour that I'm with them. And so I think that I'll be able to take with me like that leadership and that confidence to help my team and be good that way. And soccer-wise, no, I think still soccer-wise, leadership and confidence. I think those two are really important in soccer.
I can second that for sure. You are actually, without a doubt, one of the most responsible, one of the most consistent, one of the most organized coaches that we have.
Thank you. Thank you. Means a lot. Means
Says
a lot.
a lot about you and like your discipline and consistency, and it's kind of through and through.
Thank you.
Okay, when did you fall in love with soccer? When did you start playing soccer?
Oh, I think I started playing when I was 3. Very young, like 3. But
Parents? Was it in the family? What's the story?
it was definitely in the
background,
family. Oh, well, my dad is from Mexico, and he grew up playing soccer, and he just kind of threw us into it. And my brother played too. But I really just kind of fell in love with it, and I stuck with it. And I think I fell in love with soccer when I was like 8. My mom always tells this story that my first practice, like club practice, I went in and I was just slide tackling people left and right. And the coaches were like so surprised because I'm like a little 8-year-old girl. But I think I've always played with just like that competitiveness. And yeah, that's when I fell in love. Official story right here.
Do you have, actually I'm not even gonna say do you, who is a role model for you? Woman, player, pro, college player, whatever. Who do you, anyone that you kind of emulate, you like the way that they play, or you like something about their game? Role model.
I would say, this one might be kind of basic, but I think Marta. I just love her attitude and her confidence and just like her, I guess, mindset about soccer. Like I see her as a very disciplined player, and I think she's always pushing to get better. And like I remember one interview where I really saw it, and she was like, "Cry now so you can succeed later," or something like that. And I was like, yeah, like I just love her mindset, her confidence. Yeah.
Viv, you're like in the spot right now. So we have players. What are you in 06?
05.
05. Okay. So we now have a lot of players who are like coming up who've been training with us for a few years. And we have even more who are just getting started. Like, how realistic is it to play college soccer? What do you need to do for that to be a possibility and a reality? Like from your point of view, do you have to do a certain amount of training? Do you have to do this? Do you have to do that? Like how would you tell players, like, how do you make it a reality? Is it realistic? Can you aim to do it? Are what they're doing around here going to get them there? Like, what's your thought about that?
No, I mean, I think it definitely is realistic. But sometimes you kind of have to change your expectations. So, like, I know that a lot of people go into it thinking, like, yeah, D1, I'm going to play in one of the Big 5 conferences. But another thing that you need to realize is that there are so many teams, and it's just about finding the right fit for you. So you might not be playing, like, in one of the Big 5 conferences, but I think if you want to play college soccer, it's definitely, like, realistic. Just the main thing is, like, finding places where you can be seen. It's just like the most important thing. If you want to play college soccer, you have to be seen somewhere. So either like showcases, I would say, like, for me, I played ECNL, which I'm so grateful and so privileged to have that opportunity to play there, because it is very expensive. It takes a lot, like, to get to there. But we had international showcases, or not international, national showcases, where we had to go around the country and be seen by so many college coaches. And so that's really helpful for everybody on my team to be seen and go where they wanted to go. So I would just say just being seen is the most important thing if you want to play college soccer. And this place will help you a lot. It'll help you stand out, like, just by getting good technique. If your first touch is bad, like, college coaches will see that. Like, they see everything. So if you're able to improve your game and you're able to stand out when you're playing, that's going to help you get recruited.
Last thing I want to say or ask you is, what are your goals now? So you're going into college, right? You're going to go play. What is your goal? So I know your goal maybe might be like playing, right? But what are your goals, let's say, throughout and after college?
I like to always have big goals. So I think this season, my goal is to maybe be all-conference, all-American. Obviously that starts with getting playing time, so that's my first like mini goal that I'm setting for myself, is to be able to play and then to be a starter, which I know is hard as a freshman to go in and get that spot. So yeah, that's my mini goal. My bigger goal for this season is getting recognized, so like all conference, all American, and yeah, those are my goals.
What about long term, like future? Let's talk about like pro. Would you love to go play somewhere else?
I think that would be so cool. Just like seeing Ari and Kenzie and Kenzie go through that process. I think it makes it seem like something that could be more realistic for me. Like it seemed kind of far away before, but seeing how they do it and having people that I can reach out to for advice on how to get there, I think that is definitely like a goal for me that I would like to try. Obviously that's in like 4 years, we'll see what happens. But yeah.
I got a question for you, because this is kind of a key one, and you're really important, like a perfect storyteller for this. But for me here, one of the missions for us, if we have kids who love training here, and they train with us for a long time, they are getting really good. So
Yes.
being able to use the skill set to their advantage in admissions in college and use it to get into academic schools that maybe are better schools than they might be able to get into as a student alone. And I know you mentioned your brother goes to MIT, you're going to Pomona. Pomona is one of the best like liberal arts schools in the country. How did you decide that route as opposed to D1, and maybe say a little bit about how realistic it is to leverage your skill set that you're developing in a place like PV for players to be able to get into schools, and maybe a little bit about what that process as a student athlete was like for you applying as opposed to just applying as a student.
Yeah, for sure. I would say, where do I start? I guess, well, both my parents work in higher education, so growing up, like, it was always, like, really important. Like, college was always really important for us, and to get into a good college that's going to set us up for, like, good careers, to be successful in life has always been important. So I think that's why, like, going into it, I was looking at more, like, impressive schools for like the academic side. I would say that through like the admissions part of it, it definitely does help. Like if you get recruited before you apply, you get like a tag when you admitted, and it helps you get in. But I would say you definitely still have to be there with your academics, with your testing scores, with all of that. Like you have to be on top of that, because those colleges aren't going to even look at you if you don't have the grades to match the school, because they want you to be successful there, and if you're not prepared for it, they're not gonna take you. So just like...
What does prepared mean for you, and like how aware of that were you all the way through high school from the beginning, where you're like, I gotta get a certain GPA for this to be a reality, and how diligent were you about that?
Oh, super, almost too diligent. I would say even before going into high school, like I saw my brother with his goals to get into a top school. And so I knew going into college that if I wanted to have these opportunities later, that I would have to be really on top of my schoolwork. I did the IB program. I don't know if you know what that is. It's international. It's kind of like similar to AP, International Baccalaureate. But yeah, I was always on top of my schoolwork. I was always working on that, making sure I got good grades. Sometimes it was a bit like too much. Obviously, that program is really hard. But yeah.
What's your GPA?
Oh, I don't know. I didn't check it, but I think it was like 4.5. 4.5. Weighted. Unweighted, like 4.0. Maybe like 3.9. I don't know. But yeah.
Yeah. Last one. You're giving me the last call.
I was gonna say, just imagine that you're, how old are you now, Vivian?
I'm 18.
So just imagine that you're 15, 16, and that you're talking to 15, 16-year-old girls here.
Okay.
So what would you tell them as far as, motivationally, or just impart some wisdom on them? You know how it feels to be 15, 16. You know how it feels to play at the level you play, and especially having college aspirations. So if you want to just think about it, just address it to them. I think that most girls that come here are going to watch this video, so it's a chance for you to talk to them now.
I would say don't put too much pressure on yourself. I think when I was at that age, I was so focused on like, oh, I have to do this perfect. I have to do this. If I made a mistake in a game, I'd be like, oh, why'd you do that? And you have to remember like why you're playing this game in the first place is that you're playing it because you love it. You love the game, you have joy, you have passion for it. And it's really easy to forget that when you're playing at a high level and there's high pressure to get playing time or perform well in front of coaches. But it's important to know that even though you're putting in so much work and you're being disciplined and you're focused and it's serious, to also like have fun and just remember the joy that soccer brings you in your life. Yeah.
Were you ever in a place or in a moment of crisis where you felt like you were not loving it anymore, or
oh yeah, yes, for sure. I would say like mid-COVID, I was just training on my own. I was having such a hard time with staying disciplined because I didn't have the joy for it anymore, and I think I thought seriously like I need to quit, like this isn't for me anymore. But just coming here helped me remember like the joy for it. And yeah, I know it's really hard to push through and stay disciplined in those times, but if you have to think long term, like about your goals, like this is what I want to achieve, then putting in the work at this moment when I really don't want to is something that needs to happen. And just staying disciplined, but also trying to find your joy for it again can help you get through that for sure.
So the joy that's the key?
I think the joy is the key. I think passion is key. Like, if you're just playing with your mind, you're gonna make mistakes. You're gonna overthink. If you play with your heart, that's when you play your best. That's what I think. When you're not worried, you're not too stressed, and you're just playing for fun and with passion. I think that's when I play my best.
Thanks, baby.
Thank you, Mark.
Love you. I can't believe
Love you all too. Where's the camera? Love.
do that there, Jens. That's the Jensen.